Hey Potters, all right, this video is going to show you how to make your Potter's mark. Now Potter's marks have been used for centuries and centuries when making pottery. And what it is, it's like a little stamp that when your clay is leather hard, you stamp it. It's like your signature design or stamp. So you can see here, here's a potter. They have their signature, and then right there is their little potter's mark or stamp. Potter's marks, let's say collectors use them to see you know, the dates and the value of pottery. There's even Potter mark dictionaries that you can look up. Let's say you're at a thrift store and you find a piece of pottery you think is really old. You can check out a pottery mark dictionary and look up that mark to know maybe what country it's from, what village it's from, and what pottery it's from. Now you can make pottery marks in all different types of materials. You can make them out of clay and bisque them. You can make them out of wood and get really intricate with like a Dremel tool. You could even 3D print them if you have a 3D printer at home. We are going to use Sculpey. And Sculpey is pretty cool. It's pretty much like a plastic clay. And when you get your Sculpey, you are going, it's probably gonna be a little hard at first, and you just gotta really loosen it up. Get it nice and warm, loosened up so it's really pliable. And we have a few requirements for this project. One, you wanna keep the head of your mark about the size of your pinky nail or smaller, okay? You want to keep your design simple because obviously you're working so small. You want to keep it simple. If you're using letters, you want to flip them because it's a stamp, so it's in reverse. Bake them in the oven at your house on 225 for 15 minutes. Okay, so you're going to make it, bake it, and then bring it back to the studio for your next class. So let's talk about making one of these. First of all, I like kind of treating it like a little sculpture. So this potter, you know, worked on craftsmanship. This one used a few different kinds of clay, colors of clay. So it ends up to be kind of like a little work of art. Now, this is a cool design because they have their potter's mark here. And then on the bottom, with the extra material, they made just a stamp that they could use, you know, as decoration on a pot. So, and you want to make it look original because everyone's gonna have one. You wanna know which one is yours. Here's one of mine that I had professionally made. So this is my signature in a stamp. It's really cool. It's metal and wood. All right, so let's get started. Now, I would recommend getting a piece of paper or paper plate or something just to protect whatever surface you're working on so it doesn't get messed up. I have worked with this for quite a while, so it's nice and pliable. And I'm gonna take a little bit of this off and set it to the side. And then just gonna kind of roll it, come up with the shape that I want. Now here's a couple tips. You do not wanna make it like a chocolate kiss shape, so like this. Because when you're pressing this into your clay, it kind of sticks and you have to be able to pull it out. And if it's this shape, you can't grip it to pull it out. So you can see here, this person even kind of made like a little grip on it. This one, it's not so smooth, so they can grip it to take it off. I'm going to get it rolled. There's a lot of different ways, you know, you could do any type of shape. I'm gonna do just a basic shape. Now remember, we want the head of the mark to be about the size of your pinky, okay? So don't make it too big. Now we have two different techniques that we can use here. One is impression, and that's really just pressing. So you could use a fork, you could find a little earring that you like and press it in. You know, anything around the house you can use to come up with some cool designs. For this, I'm just gonna use this wooden skewer, and I'm just gonna press my design in. See how it's nice and clean? I'm pressing in enough that you're gonna be able to see it when you push it into the clay. The other technique is adding clay on. Now this is different than the clay that we're gonna be using. The clay we're gonna be using, if we add added anything on, we'd have to slip and score it. But with this clay, you can just make little snakes. Sometimes I like to kind of press it on the plate to get a nice flat surface. And I'm gonna put that snake on there. Gently pressed it on. I don't want to smash it because I want that to be raised up, okay? And then I'm just going to take anything, in this case the metal skewer, a needle tool, and I'm just gonna kind of tack this down, like so. If you don't tack this, eventually when you're using it, that little piece you added on will come off. And when you make pots in here, before you put them on the bisque cart, you're going to sign them and you're gonna mark it with your potter's mark. So I think I kind of like that design. So I'm gonna keep that like that. See if I can get that to focus. It's raised up, so that's the additive. So the two terms you need to know is the additive, which is where you're adding clay on, and the impression, where you're just pressing in the clay. Okay, and so the mark part's done, but we have all this extra material. You could make a larger stamp, however shape, whatever shape you want to make. Oh, that's kind of a cool shape. I'm going to tap this to get it to be more flat. And then I'm going to do some designs in that. So this, oh my gosh, it's like a perfect M. Wow, if anybody's name starts with an M, there you go, that's how you make it. So this, you would just use as a stamp. They're really cool if you just like repeat them over and over and over on a pot. So things you need to pay attention to is that you're gonna be able to grip it, that it's about the size of your pinky. And if you have extra material, to make a cool decorative stamp. Again, you're going to bake this in the oven at 225. You can just put it on a little cookie sheet. It's not going to ruin your cookie sheet. Put it on a cookie sheet, bake at 225 for 15 minutes. When you get it out, it's going to be a little bit hot, so let it cool down. Once it's cooled down, you can check it out, and when you get back to the studio, you can test it out in your clay.